Magic is expensive. I was challenged to build a vampire commander deck for less than $50. And with that, I'll start with Evelyn the Covetous. Whenever Evelyn or another vampire enter the battlefield under your control, you exile the top card of each player's library with a collection counter on it. And each turn, you get to play a card exiled with a collection counter on it with any mana. Then to add to that, we have Bloodbond Vampire. Whenever you gain life, you put a +1/+1 counter on it. And with vampires, a lot of them have lifelink, so you get to gain life pretty regularly. Malakir Blood Witch has flying protection from white, and whenever she enters the battlefield, each opponent loses life equal to the number of vampires you control, and you gain life equal to life lost this way. So if you're constantly generating vampire tokens, you're constantly gaining life, and constantly draining it. Anji, Maid of Dishonor. Whenever Anji or another vampire you control enter the battlefield, you can create a blood token. Blood tokens help you draw cards. So you discard a card, sacrifice a blood token, and you draw. And with Anji's other ability, if you sacrifice a blood token and pay 2 mana, each opponent loses 2 life and you gain 2. So Anji is good for allowing you to draw extra cards each turn and for you to gain and drain life. Aid the Fallen is a good card to allow you to bring a creature back from your graveyard to your hand, or a Planeswalker, should you choose to have one. Call the Bloodline. Discard a card, create a 1/1 black Vampire Knight creature token with lifelink. So anytime you deal damage with that token, you gain life. Blood Reckoning. Anytime a creature attacks you or a Planeswalker, that controller loses 1 life. Canonized in Blood. At the beginning of your end step, if you descended this turn, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature you control. Anytime a permanent on your side of the field is put into a graveyard, you descend. So anytime you have to get rid of something, sacrifice, what have you, you get to put a +1/+1 on the creature. And with this one, you can also sacrifice it and create a 4/3 white and black vampire demon creature token with flying. Vampiric Rites. For 2 mana, you sacrifice a creature, gain 1 life, and draw a card. So you can create a vampire token, sacrifice it, gain a life, and draw a card. Stensia Masquerade. Attacking creatures you control have first strike. And whenever a vampire you control deals combat damage to a player, you put a +1/+1 counter on. With this one, you can actually discard it and then you can play it again for its madness cost. Underworld Dreams. Whenever an opponent draws a card, Underworld Dreams deals 1 damage to that player. So each turn your opponent takes damage. Rage's Frightful Return. This saga is interesting because you can play either one of these loyalty abilities instead of having to go through one by one. But keep in mind that anytime you skip ahead, the previous ones are unavailable. For its first ability, you may sacrifice a creature, and if you do, each opponent discards a card. For its second ability, return target creature card from your graveyard to your hand. And for its third ability, target opponent may sacrifice a non-land, non-token permanent, and if they don't, they lose 2 life and you draw a card. The Mirari Conjunction. For its first ability, you return an instant from your graveyard to your hand. For its second ability, you return a sorcery from your graveyard to your hand. And for its third ability, until end of turn, whenever you cast an instant or a sorcery spell, you copy it, and then you choose new targets for that copy. Cemetery Recruitment. Return target card from your graveyard to your hand, and if it's a zombie, you draw a card. This is a good return spell, especially if you play zombies, because it gives you an added bonus of drawing a card. Crawl from the Cellar. Return target creature card from your graveyard to your hand. Put a +1/+1 counter on up to 1 target zombie you control. Another good return spell, especially if you run this in a zombie deck. And you can play it from your graveyard for its flashback cost. Disentomb. Return target creature card from your graveyard to your hand. Olivia's Wrath. Each non-vampire creature gets -X/-X until end of turn, where X is the number of vampires you control. So this could act like a board wipe. You create a massive amount of vampire tokens, play this, and wipe the board. Stensia Banquet. Stensia Banquet deals damage to target opponent equal to the number of vampires you control. Draw a card. So create your vampire army, play Stensia Banquet, and you could possibly take them out of the game. Markov Retribution. Choose one or both. For its first ability, creatures you control get +1/+0 until end of turn. For its second ability, target vampire you control deals damage equal to its power to another target creature. So if you buff one of your vampires, you can play this and possibly destroy an opponent's creature. Consumed by Greed. This is an interesting one. You can choose to gift a card, meaning that you're allowing them to draw a card. Target opponent sacrifices a creature with the greatest power among creatures they control. Now, if they draw the card that you're allowing them to draw, then you also get to return a target creature card from your graveyard to your hand. Repeated Reverberation. When you next cast an instant spell, cast a sorcery, or activate a loyalty ability this turn, you get to copy that spell or ability twice, and you get to choose new targets for the copies. For example, if you play Disentomb after you play Repeated Reverberation, then you get to bring 3 creatures back from your graveyard. 1 from the original Disentomb, and then 2 more because you copied it twice. Voldaren Estate. You can either tap this for a colorless mana, you can tap it and pay 1 life and add 1 mana of any color, but you can only spend it to cast a vampire spell. Or you can pay 5 mana, tap this, and then create a blood token. But it costs 1 less mana for each vampire you control, so the more vampires you control, the cheaper that ability becomes. Yggdrasil Rebirth Engine. When it enters the battlefield, you exile all creature cards from your graveyard. Its second ability is that you can tap it to exile the top 3 cards in your library. In its third ability, you pay 4 mana, tap Yggdrasil, put a creature card exiled with it onto the battlefield under your control, and it gains haste until end of turn. So let's say one of your best creatures is in your graveyard. You can exile it and bring it back to the battlefield with Yggdrasil. Dimir Locket gives you blue or black, and you can sacrifice it to draw 2 cards. Mana rocks like Dimir Locket are good to bring out if you can bring them out as quickly as you can. And it will help you bring your commander out as quickly as you can as well. Let's say you played a land for turn, and that's your third land. You can tap the 3 lands that you have, play Dimir Locket, and that way you have 2 mana per turn instead of 1. Is that Locket? Same thing as Dimir Locket, but it gives you blue or red. Rakdos Locket gives you black or red. And last but certainly not least, we have Soul Ring. Soul Ring gives you 2 colorless mana that you can use for anything that you want to play. And keep in mind that not all of these cards may be playable in a tournament, but if you're just playing with your friends, I'm sure they're not going to mind. The game doesn't have to be expensive, and it can be so fun. Don't let this deter you from being able to play the game how you want, with the people that you want to play the game with, and have fun. That's all I have for you today. Stay tuned as I continue this challenge to build the rest of this deck for under $50.